The collective is here for your information, knowledge, and love. What we want you to understand, what we want you to know, is to sit and listen to the vibration. To sit and listen to the frequencies and the vibrations from which the words are presented to you. It is this vibration, it is this frequency that carries the understandings, carries the teachings, and the healings. So sit now, infuse yourself with each of the vibrations. It has been some time that we have presented to you. A time of rest, a time of exploration, a time of discovery. Each of you have had your moments of discovery, of understandings. Time to sit, time to recover. The momentum is building, the momentum is present. The energy that does course through this planet is shifting. You understand this, you know this. There is momentum behind it. For the presence of the being that you inhabit is ever aware of these changes as they affect the physical body, as they impart their energies and healings. The physical body itself is being acclimated, is being prepared. Have this as an understanding for the days to come. There'll be much more presented. Do not allow the construct of your physical existence to override your understanding of where you are in your present being. Do not allow the distractions that are just a step away from you at each moment to throw your balance off. For it has been up to this point, you've found your foundation, you have found the rock that you stand on, that truth that you stand on. It is the core essence of who you are. It is the core being. It is the energetic self. It is this that you have brought into this existence, into this physical form. And it has been up to this point that you have steadily secured your feet to this foundation, this understanding, this truth of who you are. But that is being tested. That is being tested by each of the physical aspects, each of the three-dimensional aspects of your physical incarnation here upon this planet. But do not be swayed by what you are being presented with. For at the core, for at the center of your energetic being is the undeniable truth is the undeniable understanding of who you are and where you have come from. For it is this in the days to come that will ease your step, that will broaden your path, illuminate the dark. Allow this to be your understanding. Allow this to be your truth. For it is now the time to be present with who you are. There are many that surround you that are not at that point, not placed upon their foundation. For it is you. It is you that have found your foundation that will help build the foundation for many that will surround you. We have mentioned the pillars of light that each of you are, and each of these pillars of light expand out beyond your universe. But it is not the universe that is crying out. It is the other beings of your planet. Allow your light to radiate out in front of you and around you and surround you. Allow your essence, your vibration to infiltrate everything that is around you. Hold tight to the understanding. Hold tight to the teachings and the understandings from where you have come. For that will be the instructions for those that are wishing to build their foundation and begin to illuminate their path. You are but one, and there are many. It is not to take on the world with one, but it is to take on one at a time. If you have questions, please begin.
Thank you very much for being present this evening. Dalvier has a question about one of his cats, Oliver, who keeps meowing in the corridor of the apartment and in his study. Sounds kind of like complaining. Is there something that Oliver needs for Dalvier to know?
For the message that you are to receive. Is one to have an understanding of the communication that is in place. For you are perceiving it as a distress, as a notion of uncomfortableness. Refocus your energy, refocus your frame, refocus your ears to the vibration that this animal is providing. For what you must understand about this particular animal is in communication. It is of sorts, it is as the words are being spoken to you through this individual, words are being spoken through this animal to you. But it is a tuning, it is a realigning of the audio. It is to understand the vibration by which this animal is communicating. It is not the message from the animal itself, it is the message through the animal to you. The more that you approach with apprehension, the more distressful the message becomes because you are not paying attention to what is being spoken. Reshift or shift your framework, your understanding. Sit with the communication and allow it to speak through you, not at you.
Awesome, thank you. Speaking of animals, our cat Dasher, 2 days prior to the Lion's Gate, got into a weird mood and didn't want any affection and was self-isolating. The day after the Lion's Gate, he started to resume his normal self. Is that the intensity of the energy? Is it disturbing our pets and our animals as well as our bodies?
It is an interesting question that has been answered through the question that you have asked. The energy that you speak of, it is a reoccurring energy, intensifying with each iteration. And yes, as an animal, as a human, as any other being of this planet experiences this energy, it will affect, as it has been spoken, the physical being itself. One may go into isolation. One may be expressed outward as anger, joy. It will be all expressed individually, dependent upon the individual. So understand that each iteration of any energy influx to this planet will affect the physical being, the human itself, the animals itself, any other being in its own particular way. And it is at that point to allow that process to flow.
Thank you for that. So Eric is interested in understanding what advice or guidance you have in terms of the men's work that he's doing and then finding appropriate clients and bringing in clients. What would you like to say to him about that, please?
The work that is being done, this interaction between the human species of the male entities, there is an alignment that is in place. There is a core essence of alignment that is in place. This core essence of alignment, this base by which this has been brought into existence, is one that is there is a a balance. And the balance is just energetically, just slightly off to one side. This slight difference is the human versus the energetic. And this is interesting because, as with all humans and what all humans do, this balance is continually in flux. But when we center ourselves around the experience of what it is we are doing, there are at times that the balance weighs more on the physical essence versus the energetic essence. Though it started divinely inspired, divinely aligned with all things, the human must process. It is this rebalancing, recalibration, re-energizing with a new set of eyes. There is a small core of participants. This is where it has built itself. But what must be understood, there is the circle is greater than that. It is not just this small circle. The outer circle is much more in the distance. That is where the focus shall shift. But the focus shall be from the energetic focus of understanding the balance and aligning yourself within and allowing the energetic threads to begin to weave out to the outer circle. As the threads begin to weave to the outer circle, that is when you will begin to sense and understand where movement is needed. Just as a spider web casts its web wide and it detects from the furthest reaches, you too will begin to detect from the furthest reaches of where the energetic connection must be, where the focus at that point must align. So envision yourself expanding that circle much greater than you can comprehend and begin to weave your energetic threads to that. For the universe understands each node that you will connect and each individual that will be connected to that node. But you first must expand energetically and bring the alignment back into coherence.
Thank you for that thorough message for Eric. So Meredith lost her grandfather in June, and the family is still very much in grief. Is there anything that the grandfather, Ted Hagen, would like to say to Meredith and Meredith's father and or their family to help ease that grief tonight, please?
grief. And the grief that is being witnessed is purely your humanness. Look inward. Look inward to the joy. Paint the picture. Do not center yourself around the tears that are being expressed. But center yourself around the joy that all of us have had. The humanness, the human body must expire. The human body must leave this place. But I am still with you. I am ever present. We have not left. I have not left. None of us have left. We are still aside with you. It is to cast aside all of your understanding that this is not but just a death. This is a rebirthing of an energetic being. When you hear the knock, when you hear the creak, that is I. I'm witnessing to you that I am next to you. The rising of the hair from your neck, the graceful touch across your palm. Those are all things to let you know that I am still with you. I have never left. Grief is your human reaction. Joy and love and the pure essence of all that is the energetic blessings that we have had. That is what should be remembered. It is with the greatest of hugs that I wish to wrap around each and every one of you. Know that I am with you. Know that I'm ever present with you.
Thank you so very much for that beautiful message. I would like to know what energy was with me on the bed the other evening when I was, or morning, trying to recenter myself in my heart space and listening to something from Amanda Lawrence, and something jumped up on the bed or moved the bed in a way that was unusual and stayed with me for a while. Can you tune into what that was, please, or who that was?
the representation of the energy that you are experiencing, the notion of a energy approaching you in physical form upon the bed in which you are laying. One, you have to understand the process. There must be an energy associated with you that you are recognizing to gain your attention to the energy's presence. This would be the energy of an animal that has passed. This was a cat that you've had as a pet in your home. This is the energy that does present itself to you to gain your attention, to shift your focus. From that point, that is your door opener. You are in a energetic state, as you say, to center yourself within your heart space, which is the highest vibrational state that one can achieve in the physical body. So once the awareness was there that this animal has made its presence known, it allowed you then to refocus on all of the energy that was already present with you. Your energy, the universal energy, and its healing that it was doing. So what you were experiencing was if you could witness with your eyes the wave-like essence of the energy that was present with you, to allow yourself to be open in your heart space and to be centered in this heart space, the wave presence of energy that is always surrounding you. This is what you were experiencing. Your attention had to be brought into that space. For in your physical mind, you knew you were entering into it, but your energetic self was not presenting it to your physical self. This is the physical body's way of associating all of its energy. But once your energy focused to the animal's energy, it made you aware of all of the energy that was around you.
Thank you. That makes sense, because at first it did feel like the cat jumped up, but then the whole bed was undulating. It wasn't just a cat. So that was the gateway to feeling the other energy.
This is correct. This animal is your... This animal represents the notion of opening a door for you to experience the energy that is around you. So call upon this animal to be present when you wish to experience more than the physical self.
Awesome. I'll do that. Thank you very much. So we have a couple of questions for the Pleiadians. Is there a Pleiadian representative that can speak to us this evening, or the collective?
The Pleiadian collective is present.
Thank you very much for your presence. Since we have you, is there something that you'd like to communicate to humanity at this time or to the group that's convened this evening? What do we need to know, please?
Those that are specifically attuned to the energies by which we are communicating to you are receiving our dimensional teachings. You are receiving the script and the symbols by which you must scribe this transmission. Begin to scribe this transmission by any means possible, whether it is through the voice in which you have and the pencil by which you put to paper. Begin to scribe these teachings, though they may not be in your specific language. Once the transmission is complete, sit with the transmission and begin to translate into your understanding, before the vibrational interlock has taken place through the transmissional process and the physical connection to that. So allow this transmission to be transcribed into your words.
Thank you. Are you referring specifically to this communication this evening or communication that's ongoing with you and those people?
For all of the humans of your planet that are directly aligned with the Pleiadians, their transmissions are being brought to them specifically. The transmissions will be individualized, once broadcast as a transmission and transcribed for that individual. It will be as if there are pieces missing. It is not that pieces are missing. It is that you have a particular piece. Another individual has a particular piece. Another individual has a particular piece. It is this blending of the pieces that will then present itself as a full transmission.
Interesting. And so how will those pieces get blended? How will they know of each other?
It will be the gathering of understandings. It is the witnessing and putting forth. As you would say, you would put forth a call to all of those that are receiving transmissions. They will gather and they will coalesce the transmissions into one broadcast.
Awesome. Thank you. So there's a book called The Bringers of the Dawn that is allegedly channeled material from you, the Pleiadians. And in there, there is a chapter about merging realities and the convergence of our multiple dimensional selves. Can you expand upon that for us, please?
To gain insight into this understanding, this merging, this bringing together, one must release from the conventional mind process that the humans are associated with. For interdimensionality and the blending and merging of this and all aspects of your being is a bit beyond your physical comprehension. But to understand this, visualize yourself as a grain of sand upon a beach. One grain is you here, now, this time, this moment, this second. The next grain is you the next second. The grain here is the grain of sand of you just before the next. And so on and so forth. And the entire beach in which you stand is fragmented into multiple pieces of you. And all of it is in a different dimension. But yet it is all in one location. And it is ever moving and ever shifting. But each piece is you. It is your energetic self. Dimensionally, it is everything. But if you were to scoop up a handful and bring all of that together to form one specific thing, for that moment, it has merged. It has all merged into that one object. But that is just temporary, because you cannot merge all dimensions, all time, all space into one thing. It is only temporary. It might be temporary for an entire existence, or it might be temporary for just a blink of an eye, because you cannot constrain the all. You are everything, everywhere, at every moment. The physical being that you inhabit now is that coalescing, that bringing together, that object. But it is not forever. It eventually dissolves away to nothing. But what remains is that energetic piece, that one grain that gets broadcast back out. This is for all individuals. You are everywhere and in a single place at any point in time. But do not burden yourself with the capability of trying to understand this concept, because it is not for the human mind to understand, but it is for the human mind to understand that the one grain that is inside of you, who you are, does have the ability to touch just outside of your physical body, out to the other locations for just that moment. Whether you seek purpose, whether you seek information, teachings, whatever it may be, it is this reach out for that moment. This is why, as we have said, there are many that are collectively connected to the Pleiadians, and they are receiving transmissions, just as many receive transmissions from other beings. But what must be understood? What you are receiving is a communication from yourself, another grain of yourself. You are speaking to yourself. You are giving yourself information that is needed. So it shall not be looked upon as being distressing when this information is being transmitted to you. Do not be apprehensive about it. For it is just another grain of you. speaking directly to you in a way that you understand. For the transmission that I receive may be different than the transmission someone else receives. It will be slightly different. That is because of the connection between self. So we hope that is an acceptable understanding. For in time, you will have the greater understanding of it. But for now, your human construct limits that.
Thank you very much for trying to bring that complicated concept to us in an understandable way. We appreciate that. Many months ago, we spoke to you about the Tachyon Healing Chamber. And you mentioned that it isn't necessarily for everyone, but those who had a particular, if I recall correctly, alignment with their DNA, that it would be beneficial for them. And that the energies that emanated from that instrument were beneficial regardless. So a follow-up question is, for those who do feel called to that healing chamber, do they bring back after that experience any tangible, per se, benefit to humanity and to Earth? Other than their own, perhaps, physical DNA changes and healing?
To understand this, you must understand what we have just transmitted to you. Entering into this, as you call, chamber, it is interesting that you reference this as a chamber. You're entering into a vibrational state. You're entering into an alignment of a vibrational state that your physical body is at times incapable of aligning to. But with the intention, because you have already had the connection and the knowing from self, from this grain of self as another projection of self, it is brought into you to know that you will be acclimated for that period of time. But this state of vibration in which you enter into is dependent upon your alignment. Now, for information that is being brought into you, broadcast to you, transmitted to you, what you must understand, all information that is being transmitted into the human form is all information that then can be presented to all others. It is for the human to decide whether they wish to broadcast this or they wish to hold it. For you must understand there is not a secret to be part of this transmission. The information that is brought in is all useful across all beings, not just human beings. There are many that receive transmissions from other star systems, other beings, other entities. And this is an understanding across all beings. All transmissions are for the relative good of all. Though they may be personal, they can be translated for the benefit for all.
Thank you. That's beautiful. And that makes a lot of sense. So Irene, who's with us, would like to know if she is feeling resonating to the tachyon energy. Is it appropriate for her? She would like to know, please.
But from a crystalline alignment standpoint, the physical body is aligned and tuned to receive. But from the physical mind state itself, you have made the preparations necessary to receive the crystalline alignment, the crystalline vibrations. Do not put apprehension before your receiving of this attuning. So it is to say your physical state is in a state of reception. If you feel it necessary in your physical self to move forward, that is your choice. The physical being itself is in the appropriate state to receive.
Awesome. Thank you for that help. So I'm just curious, when we spoke to you back, I believe it was March of this year, when you all came through, you were speaking light language and then translating into our English language. This time you're speaking completely in English. What was the difference in the communication last time?
Vibrational attuning. For you must understand that as the approach of energy enters into a physical being, if it is the first transmission, if the alignments are not accordingly aligned to the transmissional vibration, there is this vibrational translation that must take place. It is as if there is a barrier in between the transmission that is brought in and the voice that is being projected. Then it is then reprocessed out into a language that you understand. This is what is made mention of earlier with transmissions that will be brought through individuals. It may be brought in through the scribing of information that is not in your language. It may be spoken in a language that is not yours. But once the transmission is complete, recenter and begin the translation of what has been broadcast. After that has taken place, the alignment of the associated information, transmission, broadcast has been made. You must understand, for each symbol, each word, each, as you say, light language piece must then be recalibrated to a word of your language. This is an aligning process. This is a acclimation process for the physical voice to proceed with.
Awesome. So because Will's body has brought your energy forth already, then it's obviously easier.
This is correct.
Wonderful. Thank you. We appreciate you coming in and privileged to speak to you. Is there anything else you'd like to share before closing with you all?
For those that align to the vibrational influx of the Pleiadians, begin your transmissions and your receiving of information. For those that align to any other being beyond your planet, begin your alignment and receiving and transmission process. The time is now. There is much to be understood. There is much to be broadcast. There is much to be disseminated.
Awesome. Thank you so very much for stepping in this evening. And we have one final question relative to Maria and her relationship with the Hathors. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on behalf of the Hathors or a Hathor representative who would like to speak to that question?
The representatives of the Hathor General Council are present.
Beautiful. Thank you so very much for being present with us this evening. Maria is interested in understanding her agreement with you all, the Hathors. Can you share relative to that, please?
Dear Maria, it has been processed and contractually agreed upon that you are our representative through your transmission and your alignment in this incarnation upon this planet during your time of presence. It is through your voice in which we will broadcast through you to bring forth the healing and the reconciliation across many tribes of your nations. It is for this healing purpose in which you have agreed upon this contract by which you have entered into. Understanding the divine light in which you stand and the divine alignment in which you have brought into this incarnation. You have influenced many, but it is yet to be fully fulfilled in this understanding. When you are fully prepared and fully ready in your true alignment, will you then be upgraded into the next understanding of the teachings in which we will provide to you? The transmissions in which we will bring to you will be those of the nature in which you will begin a new sight process. Words will appear just in front of you, as if they are scribed upon a board as you are seated in front of it. You'll begin to scribe this information. This is the teachings. These are the higher level present teachings that are necessary. So allow yourself this time to adjust and align. This is your contract.
Beautiful. Thank you so very much. Is there something that she needs to do to step into that new iteration of herself? What suggestion do you have for her?
Place yourself upon the center of your crystalline energy, at the center in which you stand. Envelop yourself and shed any remnants of the existence of the previous connection you've had with us. It is as if you are disrobing from the present time and stepping into the future aspect of who you are. Then to cloak yourself with the new understanding, the new teaching. And begin the new conversation. For the communication has always been open. But it is now your time to represent yourself at an esteemed level of understanding.
Wow. Thank you for that. And so these words that she will be scribing, is she to document these, to share those teachings in some way?
As with all teachings, they shall be documented. With all teachings, they shall be represented to all humanity.
Amazing. Thank you. Is there anything you'd like to share about your council, the council that's presenting currently?
The council that is present is represented across multiple dimensional aspects. It draws upon the energies and the influences from all dimensional aspects of all Hathors. For it's one represented collective of knowledge. This is what is to be broadcast. This is what is to be received. For this is your connection. It is never represented as one is only a singular entity into an understanding. This is where the human aspect has difficulty. It is always thought of as one representative. But just as you understand yourselves as a collective of information, a collective of humans to coalesce and come together and understand, this information is broadcast from the center of a collective. That is where the greatest knowings and teachings arrive.
Thank you for that. And so the light language that she's currently expressing from you all, I guess that's sort of the precursor for what will be coming in. And
This is correct.
Okay. Have you all ever been embodied on a particular planet or in a constellation, or have you always just been light beings?
There are a number of the council that have been in a lower dimensional aspect, but not to the dimensional aspect in which you inhabit. The greater part of the council is represented by, yes, the higher dimensional aspects of the light being as you would represent them to be. But this in itself is your understanding of how you then represent a dimensional being. For if you step beyond your physical plane into ours or any other dimensional plane of a higher dimensional aspect, there is no shape, there is no form. It is energy. It is light. It is everything. It is existence.
Beautiful, thank you. And one final question. Tom Kenyon channels, if you will, or creates music from the Hathors that is hauntingly beautiful and energetic. What benefit is it for humanity to listen to that? What are you communicating to us or providing to us through Tom and his music?
Just as many that represent our transmissions through the form of, as you say, light language, symbols, as you say, music. This is a direct representation for the humans to understand our direct voice. The closest representation, if it were to be broadcast through into your ears, would be through, as you say, music. It is this vibrational representation. Take a moment to align yourself to this, as you say, music. But reframe yourself and re-understand what you are listening to. Listen to it as a conversation. Listen to it as a teaching. That would be the best way to audibly understand what is being transmitted.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. And before you close, is there anything else that you'd like to share with humanity while you're present with us?
No matter the vibration, no matter the entity, no matter the being by which transmits through you, understand this. You have signed a contract to be present at this time in your existence, this planet's time of existence. There is no coincidence that you have been placed here for this reason. Open yourself. Open yourself and your understandings greater than you know to receive all that is being transmitted to you. There is more than you are capable of understanding that is being transmitted to you, but you must open yourself to receive it. Once you begin to receive these transmissions, you will then begin to understand the nature in which the information is to be broadcast to all other beings. You are in a unique situation. You are here for a reason. You are here to receive. You are here to transmit. And enjoy your being. Enjoy the being in which you inhabit. For it is your being. It is your choice. It is your presence.
Beautiful. Thank you so very much for being present with us this evening.
We thank you.
And I'd like to ask if the collective has any closing remarks this evening, please.
It is your time now upon this planet to align to all of the energies that are being presented to you. For each energy that is being presented to you, no matter how strong or how weak, no matter where it has come from, no matter the distance it has traveled, it is for you to align with it. It is for you to energetically align to it. For each energy that you connect to, for each energy that you align with, each one of those energies is carrying information that is needed for this planet at this point. Understand, no matter whether it is a higher vibrational energy that is coming in or a lower vibrational energy that is approaching you, each one of them has a teaching to understand. Each one of them is there to present to you information that is critically needed at this point. Do not be frightened by the energy that is around you. You are the vessel by which it wants to transmit its information. You are the being it wants to transmit through. Allow the energy that influxes through your planet to wash over you. Allow the pain to well up, for this is a reminder that you are human. But yet you understand that it is the energy that is creating the pain. For when you align with the understandings of how energy is influencing everything that you do, you begin to realign and assess your existence. So it is normal, it is understandable that you are questioning what you question. But allow yourself the time. Allow yourself the time to allow it to all wash over you. And allow it to be absorbed. Allow it to do its healing work. Allow it to teach you. Because you have built your foundation. You have built your trust in who you are. That is the message we want to provide to you.
Outstanding message. Thank you so very much for being with us tonight.
As always, the collective is here for your information, knowledge, and love.